Crystal, to our emotions and moods and meditation workshop we're having on tonight. This is a very small class, so it's a great opportunity to record something. And so I'm just going to leave that door open. If somebody else comes in, that will be great. And Crystal, you're already a member of Jazz's team, which is fantastic. Jazz's downline. And so that's great, which means you've got some of the oils. And what we're going to do is talk about the emotions tonight and how our essential oils can affect those emotions. Now, I do have a little PowerPoint that we can have a little look at the same time. So, are you ready to feel good?
Yes.
Woohoo! You can do woo like this if you like. So, this is a class that's going to teach you a little bit more about the science and the emotions, the science behind the emotions and the oils. It's going to give you some tools and habits for healthy body chemistry and practical emotional wellness steps that you can take even from today. So what we want to remember basically is for us to be happy, healthy and strong, we have to remember we need to balance our body, our spirit and our mind if we want complete wellness. So if the body and the spirit are nourished, we find that we usually feel pretty damn good. If the spirit and mind are nourished, we feel good, and if the body and mind are feel good. But if all three are in harmony and balance, everything starts to move forward again in our lives. So, the science behind emotional aromatherapy. There are chemical responses, triggers in the brain, and a personalised experience of our oils can make a difference. So you see, the body is actually made up of intelligent cells wired to restore our health. Now, I don't know whether that's being recorded properly or it's not, but what I will do is I'll record another class that everybody can look at later, which will be on Zoom or something, so it'll be an online class. Okay, that way you'll have it for later. So the body is made up of those intelligent cells, and it has receptor sites on the cells. Emotions are actually information-carrying molecules that bind to and react with the cell receptors, that also get into the cells, and they also impact the cell function and behaviour. And what we know, Crystal, is that actually all emotions are chemical reactions in the body. So it's not just a feeling, the feelings actually create chemicals and even chemical deposits in different parts of the body. Emotions are processed throughout the whole body, but there are three main areas of where the body processes those emotions. First, we have emotions processed in the mind, and that includes the conscious and the subconscious mind. And the subconscious actually directs about 90% of our behaviours, which is pretty interesting because that's the work I do as a hypnotherapist. And what I normally do is refer people to the picture of the iceberg behind the door. Conscious mind's about 10%. The 90% is the subconscious mind, and that's generally that's the domain of all the emotions and habits and patterns. And so it means that we can be trying to make some changes on the conscious level, but we often find that they don't work unless we can tap into the subconscious as well, because subconscious is 90%, it's always going to win, and it's the domain of emotions. Now we also experience emotional changes in our heart. So, you know, when somebody loses somebody they love, they feel the physical pain in their heart, they feel that heartache. So the heart is also about our intuition, and there are more neural pathways that actually go from the heart to the brain than they do from the brain to the heart. So it means that the heart is actually a really big part of the emotional well-being. And the third part is the gut, and we talk about our gut feelings, and our gut feelings are our intuition as well. But you'll often notice yourself, if you're feeling anxious or stressed, you'll often feel that in the tummy. And if we talk about the work of Louise Hay, have you heard of Louise Hay?
No.
Okay, Louise Hay, I've got a couple of her other books here with the same book, but there's one with a photo of her. And Louise died last year or the year before at the age of about 97. And she was a counsellor. Have a little look there. She was a counsellor for over 50 years, and what she found was that everybody that came in with the same emotional stuff had the same physical stuff going on. So then she was able to tap back, and this is the same book, but with pictures, and she was able to tap back, and then we could look up if we had a physical problem, what the emotional connection was to it. So for example, we know if somebody's got a problem with their gut, it's how they process their emotions. And as a Reiki master, and I've been doing that for 20 years, I can scan somebody's aura, and if I can feel hotspots in different areas, I know they're drawing more energy there. For example, if I've got somebody with a bad shoulder, it means they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Yep.
They're taking on too much responsibility for others, and they've got to bring it back to looking after themselves. So the body is just like the map to the soul, and the gut is a really important part of that whole equation. The gut also produces 90% of the body's serotonin, which is the feel-good chemical that helps us to sleep and relax at night time. And next, so we have connections. They're connecting those three brains, the mind, the heart, and the gut. We need those three parts of us to all be connected to feel good. Emotions and your beliefs. Come on in, Mel. How are you? That's
Feel the love in here.
Feel the love. There's only two of us.
I was
Three of
worried
us.
I'd be cold.
Oh no, you're never
Nice
cold
and
in
warm.
here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So take a seat.
Yay!
Oh.
Oh, I ran into
That's
Sarah.
my girl.
Did she tell you?
No, she didn't.
Oh, I was like, look how gorgeous.
Have you seen that baby, little Evie?
She is just
She's
so
adorable,
peachable.
and she's just this little bundle of joy. This is my granddaughter. She sees you and she goes,
She's
she just
so
lights
content.
up. She really is.
I cried, but I said, oh, I was like, I'm just so happy for
She's adorable.
everyone.
Yeah. She's absolutely wonderful. I'm just talking about, and we've only spoken, we started a few minutes ago. Mel, Crystal Mel.
Hi.
And we've just started talking about how emotions affect we've got three parts of the mind, and one part is in your head, another part of the brain is the heart, and another part's the gut. So all those three things have to be connected to have us in balance and harmony. And I just mentioned the work of Louise Hay. Now you know Louise Hay's work, don't you?
I've got her beautiful. I think it's pink.
The other one, and that's You Can Heal Your Life.
Yes.
And this is just three of these old ones. Heal Your Body, the A to Z. So this is the tables out of the back of that other book. So you can just look up a problem, a physical problem, and it'll give you the mental, emotional problem that is really attached to it. So if you can clear the emotional stuff, you can often clear the physical stuff as well. And when we work with energy, for example with Reiki, and we can scan a body and we can feel hot spots in different places, we can then diagnose almost what's going on in their emotional life because of what's happening on their physical body. So I was just saying to Mel, if somebody's got a problem with their tummy, it generally means one of two things actually. It means this is where we digest our emotions. If it's the uterus and the ovaries, that's often, think of the uterus as the seat of creation. So it means it's about nurturing. That's where we have our babies. So it means that generally somebody's got problems with the uterus, it means they're not nurturing themselves, they're looking after everybody else and they're not looking after themselves. So we can kind of map what's going on in somebody's life according to their emotions, and these beautiful oils can actually help us clear those blockages as well, just like energy helps to clear blockages, because when we do Reiki, we just pump energy into the field and it clears the block, and then it speeds up the body's healing, the mind's healing, the spirit's healing. So we kind of get this synergy, everything sort of healing together. So it's really good just to have another tool to use, because I've only been using oils doTERRA oils for a year. I've been using oils for 30 years. But it works really well with my business because it's another way to help people heal, and I can't get to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think you guys probably feel the same. You've only been using oils for a few months,
Yeah.
but once you start seeing the benefit, you will want to share those with your friends.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've been using for years, haven't you? A couple of
Yeah,
years?
but doTERRA, I got a sample kit and I was like, these are so much better than the other
They're
oils.
different. They say that where you might use 4 drops of an ordinary oil, with doTERRA you're going to use, 15 drops with an ordinary one, with doTERRA you use about 4.
Yeah.
And it's because they're so damn pure. They're grown in the right altitude, the right air, the right soil, because they've grown in their natural countries. And even recently they moved French lavender. They moved their lavender supplies from France to Bulgaria because they found another place with the same soil type and the same altitude, And the reason they moved them was because this area of Bulgaria was in poverty, and France was very a rich country, and what they want to do is really make a difference and help those communities. So they've got into these little communities so they can train everybody and give them work.
Yeah.
And build up the whole community, because one of their aims, as you know, is to actually help every person on the planet have an oil they can reach for in the night, but also to become debt free. And so they do things with their healing hands, like buildings, hospitals and schools and all that sort of stuff in some of those underprivileged countries. So I think we really should be proud that we're with doTERRA, because they're a great company with a big heart. Back to the work. Okay, so your 3 brains, and look, all of this is in your brochure too, Mel, so have a little look. Somewhere here.
Look how much colour.
I've got everything
I
there.
love it.
I just printed them.
Yes.
And I've just made up my little brochures as well. Yeah.
That's fantastic, I love that, because I was feeling so overwhelmed
Oh,
with like so many oils. Like, what do I do? And everyone I know, like there's 3 ladies at work and they just know off the top of their head what you need for what. This is what you use for hay fever. You mix this, you mix that. And I'm like, stop, how do you know? And but they are just so
I'll tell you how they know. We've got books, and somebody's borrowed one at the moment. I haven't got it back because she's gone on holidays. But we've got things like little apps on our phone. Where is my phone's over there, recording us at the moment, by the way.
Yay!
I don't even know if that screen's going to be clear enough to see, but it doesn't matter. So there are apps. There's a Modern Essentials app, like the big Modern Essentials book. You type in head tension, we have to call it these days. You type that in, and it comes up. Headache's what you type in, but it'll come up with all the oils that work really well. I had Lucy from next door pop in a little while ago just to say hello and ask me if I could book her in to stop her drinking, and then she said her husband's birthday's coming up soon. I said, oh, we'll get you stopped before that. She went, oh no, I'll be drinking on that night. So do you mean moderate? She went, yeah. But she said, what oils? And I said, well, I would be using copaiba as well. She doesn't have the oils, but I'll just make something up for her, because I use my oils here with clients. I just make them stuff and say, take this. Like if somebody wants to quit smoking, I'll say, here, take this little thing and get your toothpicks out with a bit of cinnamon bark and black pepper, because it goes to the same brain receptors as tobacco or nicotine. So all this information, you can look it up in the little apps till you learn, and then you just start to know stuff. So I just give it to people, so take that home and use that for the next week to come back and see me. And that way it can support them on that journey. So it's great. Yeah, but it is just practice, and because I use mine so much on my clients. Like I had another girl come in, she said, I've had a migraine for 5 days. I'm not going to do hypnosis. And I said, oh, I don't know what I got. Oh, I got some peppermint, let's try that. Put a bit of coconut oil, drop of peppermint, went, 5 minutes later she went, oh my God, my headache's gone. So I just love it. Now, technically I'm not allowed to use the word headache, because with compliance is going through doTERRA at the moment. Did you guys know about that? You did, yeah. So compliance means that they're trying to get a TGA approval so that we can actually advertise our oils as therapeutic, like medicine. Right now we can't make those claims. In America they can. In Australia we can't. So we've got to change the little word. So head tension means headache. Okay. Tummy whatever tension means IBS or whatever. So you just got to read between the lines till we get this compliance. And they are testing them in hospitals now. So it's awesome for us, because the big drug companies, they're not going to last forever. They've got so many side effects. But if we can use natural products that are actually got a real good synergy with the human body, we're home and hosed. And it's wonderful, because we all like that sort of stuff. So we've got to process our everyday life and our emotions. We have a life experience, and then we're trying to process it in those 3 brains: the mind, the heart, and the gut. So through the mind we go, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to figure this problem out. With the heart, it's that feeling overwhelmed. and with the gut bits feeling absolutely stuck. And that incidentally would then cause constipation. And our reaction would be head tension, or conflicted feelings, or unsettled stomach. And that means we're just disconnected, everything's not working and flowing. So our belief might then be, I'm not good enough. And that would be just because of that pure overwhelm. We kind of fall back on some of the old patterns. And I could give you some more lessons on that with hypnosis because they come from those first 7 years of our life. And that's what we kind of, we're weeding out of the head. So life experience, then we process it, then we have that reaction, and then we come up with a belief from those experiences. And I mean, I'm sure all of you have had experiences. You think things are going really well, and then one thing will happen, you go, damn, I knew that was going to happen. That proves I'm no good. It just throws you right back down. That's because it's a little pattern in your brain, it's a neural pathway. And so the whole thing about the oils is to support that change, so that we can kind of, you know what, I'm going to take a breath, and I'm just going to become the observer. I'm just going to observe that thought, and I'm going to let it go because it doesn't serve me anymore. So we start to make some changes. What do we need to weed out? So even with hypnosis, people often say to me, is it, you know, just about, you got to put some suggestions in? I go, you know, the hypnosis idea is called 5-part. Yeah, we put suggestions in, but on our next session, we got to get the crap out. So we go after whatever's in there, we can go to that core belief and weed it out. Then we put the suggestions in, because you can't fill up a cup that's already full of crap. You've got to empty it. So why use essential oils? To manage our moods anyway. Well, because they're natural, they're safe, they generate quick responses, and a simple way to manage our emotions. So what we also know is if we smell those essential oils, it takes about 8 seconds to get through the blood-brain barrier into the limbic system, which is the part of the brain with the fight or flight and all that sort of stuff, so it can calm things down really, really quickly. If we put it on our skin, it takes 28 to 30 seconds to get into your bloodstream, and up to 30 minutes to change the cells in the blood, which is just amazing when you think of it. Essential oils support healthy emotions. So emotions and essential oils interact chemically, and as I was saying a little while ago, those cells in our body have receptor sites, and some things fit in and some things don't, but the essential oils do fit into lots of those cells throughout the body, so they can, like for addiction, so that we can use black pepper instead of a cigarette, which is pretty cool. So they also support healthy cell function, they anchor healthy biochemistry, and they promote physical and emotional detox. So there are oils like, which I haven't got with me today because I left it at home. I've got another box like that at home, absolutely chock-a-block full. The only oil I haven't got is Melissa, because it's $233, so it can wait. And Litsia works like Melissa, right? So you can use Litsia instead of Melissa if you get stuck, if there's a recipe with Melissa in them. Okay, so what I was going to mention when we talk about detox, there are little blends like Zendocrine, which is specifically for the liver. And if we look at the mind-body stuff, the liver is about anger. It's the seat of anger. So if you've got somebody you're really angry with and you're having trouble with forgiveness, you can use that Zendocrine over the liver, or you can use it on the soles of your feet, so it can come right up into the body. And if you put like peppermint on the soles of your feet, within seconds you can taste it in your mouth. Have you ever tried that?
No, but I have heard that.
Yeah, it is amazing how it can get into the system very quickly. And one of the reasons with peppermint in particular is that a magnified leaf shows you there are these huge oil sacs on the leaves. And the thing about essential oils is that they're volatile compounds, and they're really tiny molecules, so they come out into the air really quickly and easily, and that's why these diffusers work really well without heat, because as soon as you blow them around, they explode into the air. And people often say, oh, I could smell you from the front door of the building. Because I've always got them going. Because they help my clients to relax for hypnosis. Did you know one single drop of oil has 40 million trillion molecules, and those chemical compounds service every cell of the body in a matter of minutes? So we don't realise how much chemistry is behind it. And I've actually got another thing I started reading this afternoon on the science. So I'm going to be right into that sort of stuff. So always make sure you choose carefully. The grade of oil that you use is going to determine the chemistry, the potency, and the efficacy. And what we know is a lot of the oils that you buy, like the ones you were using before you got onto doTERRA, and probably me too, they only have to have 3% pure oil in them for them to say pure essential oil. Did you know that? 3%. That's crazy. And some of them have got synthetics to bolster the smell, to make it go further because it's cheaper. And we know the food grade oils that doTERRA have, we know there's 37 of their oils that are food grade and can be taken internally. And people talk about, don't take them internally. I often have people say you're not allowed to. And one of the reasons is because a lot of the other oils that people were trying to take internally had synthetics and they had pesticides and they really weren't pure. And if you think about, when you're making those peppermint slices and you use the peppermint essence, it's not oil. Don't use it. Use peppermint oil. So we just trust less is more, less is better. But we also make sure we always read the labels, because the labels on the bottles will say food grade, or they'll say use this flavouring, or they won't. Some of them will just say aromatic use only, so you can put it in your diffuser or on something like this. You guys have seen this one? This has got Motivate in it. This I put on at about 7 o'clock this morning, and that smell stayed there all day. But I smell it all day. It keeps me awake.
How good is that?
Yeah, because like I usually do 10-hour days, and I don't get a lunch break or anything. I'm just talking the whole time. And these, they work really well for me. One night, and this probably shouldn't be recorded, one night I was doing, I've had a lot of Skype hypnosis as well. I've got a person in Queensland and someone in Sydney at the moment. I've got somebody in the islands and somebody in Canada. And this lady was in Queensland and she propped herself up on a bed and her phone, and I see her slide off to the side. So I'm just there in my little tram state, my feet up and over, talking. And then I heard myself going, oh, I nearly fell asleep. I nearly put myself asleep, but I was still talking. So I got some peppermints and I put it in the water and I put it on the back of my neck and I breathed it in and I went, ping, I'm back. It's so funny. Never done that before. Okay, so therapeutic, generally normal therapeutic oils that will say therapeutic on the bottle, they're usually unregulated standard and they're compromised quality and they are marginal health, but they have marginal health benefits. So some of the oils out there will say they're therapeutic, but they're not necessarily pure or anything that you would want to use on your body or in your body. So doTERRA come up with their own kind of, I don't know what we want to call that, their own tag basically, certified pure therapeutic grade. And what that means is they're extracted from plants that are harvested in their natural habitat, which we talked about a moment ago. Stringent third-party testing. So I think there's something like about 18 tests on every batch of oil. And so there's about 3 of them that are done by the doTERRA chemist. The rest are done by outside sources. So they really want to make sure that they're pure. And so they verified pure and filler-free, and they've got no pesticides, so they're really clean oils. How to use essential oils for emotional wellness. Now, essential oils are dynamic, providing targeted support for your body, physically and emotionally. So you've seen this before. I only stuck that in my little PowerPoint today. How can we use them? So A is aromatically, and so of course that means smelling them. So if you could just as easily put a drop in your hand and inhale that. I had somebody having an asthma, I'm not going to say that either, an asthma attack. They shot us a breath attack. I gave her some easy air and she went, I can breathe. It worked. Because you can have her ventilator. So I'm not allowed to say these things, but we can kind of talk amongst friends. And nobody else will be seeing that, I don't think, today. So we can smell them, we can use them in these the jewellery that's out at the moment. This is another one of those things that you can get pretty much anywhere, and it's volcanic rock because it's porous. So you just wipe a bit on and then you can wear that, and that's another way to carry that around. You can use those wooden pegs in your car in the ventilator, put a drop on there, so then you get that beautiful fragrance coming through.
Good idea.
Yeah. And tea is topically, which means you can put them on our skin. On the soles of your feet, the back of your neck. If you've got aching muscles, you might want to use ice blue, that sort of stuff. And eye is ingesting. I think they're actually changing that eye to something else actually soon. I'll have to think about that. Okay, so aromatically, when we're smelling those oils, it actually goes, as I said, about 8 seconds to get through the blood-brain barrier into the limbic system, which is your emotional system in your brain. And it means that when we smell them, it's the fastest way to affect a mood. And aromatic molecules have got a direct access to the limbic area or the emotional seat of the brain. So, for example, we could use peppermint for mental fog, which I had to that other day. So you guys, do you want to smell these as we go around?
Sure.
Sure. Peppermint oil. And of course, we put some wild orange. Do you want a drink of water with peppermint in it? I use this all the time. Yeah, it's good.
Sure.
Normally we would not use. Normally we wouldn't use oils in a plastic container because it can break down the plastic. But if you drink fast, you'll be right.
Okay, I'll drink fast.
I can see now that my uplines will see these videos and they go, "You're fired."
Thank you.
And you know what? I use these. Do you want some peppermint now?
Yeah,
She
why
said, I
not?
can't drink much more water. I should have put wine in it.
It's subtle but fresh.
I use it when somebody quits smoking. I'm going, yeah, have a glass of water, and they go, oh, my mouth tastes great.
This is from fresh breath.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And as I said, it helps with mental fog, and it just gives you that boost. And you'll notice that peppermint's in a lot of the things like Motivate, because it'll just give you that increase and that uplifting feeling. Okay, back to stimulate self-repair. So topical is putting it on the body. If you put it on the back of the neck or across the forehead or the bottom of your feet. Some essential oils pass the blood-brain barrier, which we know. For the heart, if we put it over the heart area or inside our wrists or fleshy pockets behind the ears, that can also help with grief and that sort of stuff. So with Reiki, we would put hands over the heart. And I don't mean necessarily the heart, we talk about the heart chakra. I'm going to do chakras workshops in too.
Oh, cool.
All right. And then over the stomach. So if we've got an upset tummy due to stress or any other reason, we can use things like Digestine. You guys have all smelled Digestine? Yeah. It smells really anesthetic. Fennel. It's got fennel in it, yeah. And not everybody likes it. But in the old days, if you had an upset tummy, they would make fennel tea, and that's in that. So, works. You know, I had a pregnant lady here this morning, and she had something to rub on her tummy because she had morning sickness. So it works really well for morning sickness, travel sickness, all that sort of stuff.
Can all of the oils be applied topically?
Yeah. Yeah, but we really want to make sure that we water them down or oil them down with fractionated coconut oil.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are a few of them that are really hot oils. And what I mean by hot is things like oregano that can kind of burn your skin. Mm-hmm. And for example, one of my nieces asked me, she said, would you make me up something with a bit of cinnamon and something else in it? I went, yeah, rightio. And of course I made her up a little roll, a couple of drops of cinnamon and a whole stack of coconut oil, and then I must have done something. I go, what the hell? I go in and I start washing my face, and then I looked in the mirror and I couldn't stop laughing. I looked like Krusty the Clown. I had a big red mouth like this. I went, oh, I know what's going on. Water does not dissolve oil. What you need is coconut oil, and you layer it on again and it pushes it through the skin because it's not a body reaction, it's a skin reaction. So applying coconut oil drives it through, and then no more burnies. And then I did look like Krusty the Clown. About 5 minutes later, I looked wonderful. So they're things that we don't always know when we're starting out. So I've just learnt lots of tricks along the way, because every time we've got workshops in our team, I always go to them. And one of the reasons I'm doing workshops is just to get everybody educated in town. And I don't care who they're with. That's what I was saying earlier. We're all part of this journey together. We should be helping each other. And the two of the girls that came today came from Gilgandra, and they're already in other teams, and you know, they said, oh, we don't get anything out there. I said, well, just come in here, I'm happy to help you with anything. I'll send you information, whatever you need. So that's what we're all about. Okay, so Next, one thing you probably didn't realise is easy herbs are really good for grief and for anxious feelings, otherwise used to be called anxiety. And what we find is one of the reasons it works so well is because it makes you breathe more deeply. And you know, if I've got somebody, do you bring a book? Oh, good. It's beautiful, and especially like through winter you use it, through spring you use it for seasonal discomfort.
I was actually wondering what to go to for.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. And you put some on guard in it as well because that'll kill germs through the air as well. So just a few drops of each in there, or in your roller bottle, or in a spray bottle with water that you can spray in the air. So there's lots of different ways to do stuff. And I'm a multitasker and I'm somebody that's always looking for a solution.
Yeah.
And so, grief, respiratory blend, AZ is good for grief, but it's also good for anxiety because if I've got somebody in here for anxiety, and I can talk because I'm actually qualified to say that, tell them the camera. With anxiety, one of the things we give people is 3-5 breathing. Breathe in for the count of 3 and out for the count of 5. And breathe like this for several minutes and find your own rhythm. And as you do that, it actually sends a message to the brain to slow down. So using oils like this and breathing deeply gives you the same kind of effect, but it also opens the airways at the same time. So it's a good one. Now, what's next? So we can use some of them internally. And certified pure therapeutic grade oils that are able to be used are all labelled as I mentioned. So if we look at peppermint, it says direction for flavouring use. So dilute 1 drop in food or liquid store in a cool dry place. Have you ever looked at your labels?
No.
There you go.
Ah.
And so peppermint, this is one of my most used oils because I use it for pain, I don't often notice it pain, discomfort. I use it for tummy bugs, I use it for people to have if they've got an upset tummy, headaches, for everything. It's just meant to wake you up. So peppermint's one of those cheap oils that works for everything. Kind of lavender works for everything too, probably. And lavender, yeah, pretty much, yeah. And we've got this little saying, if in doubt, whip Frankie out. Frankincense is one of the ones that works for absolutely everything, including things like boosting your whole immune system. Did you hear what I said? Yeah. And for things like skin blemishes and for anxiety, and what frankincense does is magnify the effect of all the other oils. So you can put it in a blend if you're trying to get some effect. You can also layer it on the skin. So you might use like deep blue or ice blue for a bad back, and then if you put frankincense on, it will push it through the layers even deeper. So it magnifies it. Copape is another one that does it. So interesting, isn't it? You can see I like this stuff, can't you?
You can see I'm really blown away by how much you like this stuff and how much I'm really enjoying it.
Excellent. I'm very pleased about that. So we can also, like with the frankincense, what they recommend to boost your immune system every day is to put a drop under your tongue. Have you guys been told that? Twice a day? Tip it up. There you go. So you won't like the flavour of it when you start, but you get used to it. Have a think about in the churches. I mean, think about baby Jesus. What was baby Jesus given? Frankincense and myrrh. They were more highly valued than gold. Okay, more highly valued than gold. They suggest with a newborn baby, put a drop on their head, and it just helps calm them. It helps just magnify the effects of their health all coming back into balance again. And I was telling the girls this morning, even myrrh, there's a really good video out on ancient remedies or something for essential oils. I'll find it and I'll put it up. I'll find a link and put it up in the event thing for tonight. And in it, it says something that really was so funny. Like in Egypt, you see the hieroglyphs and they've got those big hats on the women's heads. Guess what they're made out of? Hippopotamus fat drenched in myrrh. because when they go out in the sun in Egypt, the hippopotamus fat melts and the myrrh infused oil drips all over them, and it's a sun repellent and it's also an insect repellent. So it stops them getting sunburned. And in the pyramids, there are swarms and swarms of mosquitoes, so they don't get bitten by mosquitoes. So these oils have been around for 5,000 years or more, you know? And they've actually recently found in Tutankhamun's tomb, they found some lavender. And it still smells as strong as the day it was put in there because there's been no air or anything. And scientists are actually currently working on it, trying to work out how come it's so good after all these years. So it's really interesting stuff. Okay, seasonal threats. So we talked about easy air, but we can also talk about on guard. And on guard is, where have I got the on guard? I've got stuff everywhere here. On guard has got cloves in it.
That's nice.
And orange in it. People either love it or they hate it.
I like
Around people my age, a lot of them hate it, because when we were growing up, if you had a toothache, your mother would put a clove in your mouth, or oil of cloves. I had somebody the other day, because you guys, do you know that we've got these things? Have you seen these? Okay. Yeah. So, if you like that, if you've got a sore throat, here, this is one, I'm putting it in your hand on your water. Oops. You got, I'll put one back. Do you want one?
Yeah.
I'm going to have one, but little bastards. Bite it. Bite me.
Bite it.
Yeah. And what, you can use these for sore throats.
Wow.
And for just boosting your whole immune system. The same as they recommend that on the soles of your feet you get a roller and put some frankincense, on guard and oregano, and sometimes tea tree. Rub that on every morning and night for boost your whole immune system. But peppermint's really nice too. I had a lady, she came in, she said, oh, I've got a really sore throat. If I use these with my clients, if I'm doing hypnosis and somebody starts coughing, I say, open your mouth. I shove them in. I do tell them what I'm doing. You've tasted those yet. And this lady, she said, oh my God, not only is my throat feeling better, but I had a toothache and it's gone.
Oh.
So I went, oh, that makes sense, it's got cloves in it. So works really well for seasonal threats, but also for vulnerability. If you're feeling really vulnerable and a bit anxious feelings, vulnerable feelings, you can use some On Guard and you can diffuse it, or you can have a drop of it in your water or whatever as well. Now, the foundation for good health and to support the three brains is usually they recommend the Lifelong Vitality Pack. Have you guys tried those yet? Okay, so they are really good vitamins. They add daily support with minerals, micronutrients, healthy fats. You should have joined last month or the month before when you got the free one if you had 100 points.
I had 2 friends join me and they got
Awesome.
that.
And if they don't want them, take them.
Yeah.
So they've got essential oils, and one of them's got turmeric in it as well, which is really good. You can taste it. Really good for, and omega-3 fatty acids and that sort of stuff. So they're kind of really well-rounded. I don't usually take twice a day. I only take them once a day. I reckon they'll last twice as long then. But you do notice, they're this sort of vitamin that you don't notice it's a gradual build-up when you're taking them, but as soon as you stop, you go, shit, I feel bad today. I'm feeling, I forgot my vitamins. So you kind of notice. So then they've also got gut cleansing vitamins that will help to just cleanse your whole system. Some of these I think some of these might be on the American site, but you can get them. You can get them on the American side or the Australian side. Lemon is another one of those that we talked about, and xenobrine is the one I mentioned earlier for your liver. So we know lemon smells absolutely beautiful. So these are just normal oils that we're not even talking about the emotional stuff so much. I mean, these are oils that will support your emotions. Anything citrus lifts your mood as well, makes you feel more positive. I love the lemon.
Yeah.
And we have herbal tea every morning, and normally we use lemons out of the garden, but right now there's not one on it, it's all flowered. So we just stick the lemon oil in the herbal tea as well. And I've got lemongrass as well, and lemon balm, which is Melissa. And I put geranium in it sometimes too, and even rosemary, because rosemary is good for the brain. So I just chop the herbs and throw them in, put a drop of lemon oil in it as well. It's good. So what do I want to plant? Because we talked about pulling the plants out. moment by moment support. So whatever we're feeling, we want to deal with those emotions at the time that we're dealing with them. So have you guys seen the Emotional Aromatherapy Class? Have you smelt it yet? It's your lucky day. It's time to smell. So these oils, when we look at this little wheel, we know that from here, the citrus oils work for, what have we got? Energizing, uplifting, and elevating. The oils with spices in them make you feel more excited and engaging and enthusiastic. The herbs and grasses are for reviving, calming, and satisfying. Tree aromas for grounding, balancing, and liberating. Florals are for comforting, I'm reading upside down, do you see? Soothing and hopefulness. And the mints are the reassuring, relaxing, and let's say peaceful. So these oils have got, so for example, Peace has got floral and mint, and Motivate's got mint and citrus, so they've kind of got a mixture of everything. Motivate's the one I have on my necklace thing at the moment. Have a sniff of that. It's just beautiful. It's probably one of my favourites, and it just stays with it. Kind of almost smells like Jack.
It's
like a lolly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. So it's really good that you come to these classes, because if you haven't got them, you can smell them, and they know what you want next time. That's what I reckon anyway.
See, I've always been a tree aromas. I like that rainforest.
Okay,
That
rainforest is forgive.
Yep.
You smell this, and it's the same as balance. You smell that. It smells like it's from the rainforest.
It's woody, isn't it?
It is.
It's like
It
it's
really
about
is.
to rain.
It is. That's exactly what it is. So forgive is for anger, and any time you're feeling like you really can't let go of something, it really does help with that. When Pa died recently, I used Console, and I was just really teary, and I just breathed that, and I felt instant calm. It was really amazing actually. So Console is, so that's herbs. The forgive is herbs, grasses, flower, what does it say? Aromas, yes, and tree aromas. And Console is the tree and the floral together. So that's really nice too. You smell that.
Oh, that's
Isn't it beautiful? The real problem is
That's
after you
beautiful.
smell a couple, you go, I don't know what my nose is doing now. You kind of lose it. Isn't that beautiful?
I don't know, it's really feminine though.
Yeah,
It's
it's
lovely.
beautiful.
It's nurturing.
It is nurturing, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you really do feel it, like
Same.
the smell is the first sense that picks up on stuff. Even when you can't smell it, your body picks up on the energy of these oils, which is kind of cool, because you can change the mood, you can calm your kids down. And so, even when Peggy sleeps over, good mom, don't forget my lavender piece.
Aww.
He's got his own, the kids have got their own, they've got their own diffusers at my house and also their house. And when Sarah orders oils, she always says lavender piece. Well, they've got a bottle each in their room. That's the one they like to go to sleep to. Now, peace is floral, but also minty. Peace is really nice too. So it almost smells a bit nutty, I think.
Yeah, you can definitely pick up the minty, but
You can.
yeah, I think you're right. Like a nutty mint.
Yeah.
It's not.
Now, you've already smelt Motivate, but you haven't smelt Cheer. So Cheer is citrus and spices as well. And that smells beautiful too.
Oh yeah, that's what they're burning. They're diffusing at work.
Ah, that
Burning.
makes sense.
It's
Where are you
great.
working now?
Tape.
Okay, so that would be really
that's
uplifting
nice.
for everybody. You'll love that. But don't forget, you can also get these in roller bottles. I'm only just started buying the rollers as well. I bought this kit so I could make my own rollers, which I've got maybe at home. They're not in there. And that way, I figured I'd probably get about 3 bottles out of each of these 3 bottles. But now I sort of wanted the rollers as well, because I don't know what the real percentage they used. And Passion is the last one here, and I think you're going to love that too. I didn't like it when I first smelt it, but I do really love it now. And it's got spices and aromas and herbs and grasses as well. And that is to increase your passion for life and probably your sexual passion as well. So,
That's so fruity.
isn't it?
Like,
Yeah. So, yep, I knew you'd like that one. And as I was saying, they also come, and the good thing is I'm keeping this box, and when I buy new ones, I just put them back in here. And that way I've got some at home and some here as well. Always got them both places. And as I was saying, the only two rollers I've got, I'm going to buy the kit, so I've got the box. But the cheer and the motivate, so put some on if you want to. That's that beautiful cheer and motivate. You can just have one on each arm. And so all they are is just those oils with coconut oil in them. Now, put your other arm, swap it over. Other arm. You'll be cheerful and motivated.
when I'm
You
trying
won't
to
sleep.
sleep.
To go to bed.
Oh, now I don't know which one. Just
I don't know either. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, back to the thing.
Yeah.
Now you've got it. Your nose won't stop. You know how you can smell stuff for hours after. You're supposed to smell coffee in between, but anyway, that's okay. So those oils from the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit are calming or energizing, soothing, renewing, invigorating, and uplifting. So doTERRA's aromatherapy, Emotional Aromatherapy Kit offers solutions for all states of the emotions. And as I was saying, they also come in the box with just a rollers as well. I think the one I've got is $260, the square box. The other one's about $160, so it's $100 cheaper. And if you're just using it as a roller, it's probably a good way to go when you're just getting into it. So, or get the big one and then make them up so you got them everywhere.
Yeah.
But see, I mean, one of the reasons I did that is so I can have some at work and some at home. That way I don't have to lug them, because I've got two of those, and I'll lug them backwards and forwards generally. And I just today went, nah, it's all right.
Do you think it's cheaper buying, because I have Motivate and Peace.
Yep.
But I don't have the other one. Do you think it's cheaper?
I added them
better
all up, and I think it was about $40 cheaper.
to buy like as a kit.
So you probably got to just get them
Yeah.
one at a time, one each month. That way you spin them out. That way you got something to put on your LRP every month.
Yeah.
And then, you know, down the track, if you start sharing them, then you might want to get a box so you've got a box with the information on it. Because that way it's sort of easy to share. But the other side of it is you can just use PowerPoints and things like that and put your own information up, and that's all you really need. So there's more information there about Motivate. I'm going to skip through these because we've already sort of talked about them. So Motivate's confidence, cheer is warming, uplifting feelings, passion, rejuvenating, inspiring, while helping to dispel boredom and lack of purpose. So there you go, that's your boredom one. Forgive, trees and herbs to help encourage feelings of peace and forgiveness when you're consumed by negativity, anger and guilt. Console, renewing company scent of this blend will,
Oh, that's got rose in it.
yes it has. Did you smell rose? Have you got rose yet?
You need to smell rose.
Smell my perfumey ones. I got that at the convention last year with the three of them. I do smell neroli and jasmine too. They are just magical.
It's like being in my pop's garden.
Yeah,
Literally.
it really does smell like if they're smelling roses, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So smell the neroli and the jasmine too, because you'll love those.
I'm a fan of jasmine.
Me too. We've always had them when we were growing up, so it just kind of brings us. That's one of the reasons they work so well with emotions, is because they bring up feelings and memories from the past. Which one are you smelling? Neroli?
No, just rose.
Rose,
I've got the neroli, that's beautiful.
yeah, that is lovely, and so is the jasmine. So try those as well. And then we've got peace, helps you feel more peaceful.
Oh,
Said it.
wow.
You love that, don't you?
I just love it all.
Yeah, me too. Let's just pace yourself. Pace yourself.
It's really hard
I know.
to put stuff.
I know. My husband. How much are you spending on this? Oh, don't worry about it.
It's worth it. You'll reap the rewards.
Yeah, you can smell it. You know, he'll use he uses lavender pea. No, he uses elevation and citrus on his desk when he's bored and when he's really tired and doesn't feel like doing any work. So he puts them on and then he's back up again. So most of you probably haven't. Most people haven't smelt the aromatherapy kit, but they do have the mood management kit because it's much more reasonably priced. But it also works on our moods. So if you're tired, you can use Serenity, which is love and peace. I must change that tag over to make it say because you guys know the American names are different for some of the oils. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So Serenity is love and peace, and citrus bliss, you can use those to diffuse. So you can blend them if you want to. You don't just have to have one or the other. If you've got no peace and you really, needing to calm down, balance is grounding. So it'll help you. It's really good for kids too. Really good to bring them back. Actually, it would be really good for your beautiful boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you used balance on it? It'd be really good at grounding. Yeah. We've got lots of kids in our little team that have got Asperger's and different sorts of things. One of my girls, who's one of my friends who did Reiki with me like 20 years ago, she's got 4 kids and 3 of them have got they've got autism or Asperger's or something. They're kind of on the spectrum. And when she found out I was doing doTERRA, she messaged me and she said, I've been waiting for you to do it, so I can do it. And can I sign up? And I don't know how, but yeah, radio, I'll find it how. And I said, but before you do, let's just test them on the kids before you spend the money. So I just made up a roll, and the boys took them, they loved them. And then she said, get me the oils, I want to join up, I want to get some oils. Then the boys now make up their own rollers, which is just awesome. Yeah, when they're feeling anxious or stressed, they go and make up something with lavender peace or balance or whatever. And so citrus bliss is also, it's uplifting, but it's also really nice for calming as well. So, and elevation's the inspiring, encouraging one. So elevation's great for energy, and you can mix it with citrus bliss if you want to, and they're both really good. So if you're stressed, you can use balance and elevation. If you've got no passion in your life, if you haven't got passion, you can use citrus bliss and elevation. If you've got no peace, you can use serenity or balance, and if you're tired, serenity helps you really sleep well and calm down, but it also, you can use citrus bliss as well to get a bit of energy there. Now, this one you probably haven't seen before. With balance, it's the grounding blend, but see that little slide there? 1 drop of essential oil can travel around the bloodstream in 30 seconds, as I mentioned earlier, and it can change the cell structure in the body within 28 to 30 seconds. That is blood. That's a drop of blood. And that's before balance, that's after balance. 30 seconds, or 30 minutes rather, sorry. It can change the cells in the blood, so that's pretty damn amazing, I reckon. So lavender peace is our after-cleansing, but it's really good for sleep, as you know. Helps dispel anxious or highly strung feelings. And it assists with restful sleep, disengages anger and it melts away, and meltdowns rather. So if you've got a kid having a tantrum, you can put the lavender piece on and they'll calm down pretty damn quickly. Incidentally, Justine, who's our upline, she runs preschool. That's how Kim ended up signing us up, is because he's been teaching EQFIT classes there for the last 6 years. And Justine, like 2 years ago, she had a walking stick because she was in a car accident and had all this back injury. And so she just used the ice blue, and he just saw the change in her, so she could walk again. And in the preschool, they now use On Guard in the spray bottles as part of their cleaning solution. On Guard peppermint and lemon work really well for cleaning benches. They work good on mirrors as well. The peppermint's got alcohol, so it'll lift that. So it's really good for cleaning. We did a cleaning class not long ago, you see. But she uses lavender piece in the Play-Doh. When some of the staff come over and say, I was there one time, one of the staff came over and said, the kid's getting really ready, can I put more in? And she went, yeah, go for your life. So they put another drop of lavender piece in the Play-Doh and the kids calm down. So that's awesome to know that we can do that, I reckon. And so yeah, so we can use citrus bliss also to kind of help work with anxious feelings, highly strung feelings, but it also helps you feel lifted and calm as well. And then elevation is the uplifting blend that creates a calm, joyful aroma, so it makes you feel joyful and happy. Great for mornings and afternoons, good for oppositional behaviour disorder and dispelling arguments. Now, I've just put, this is a screenshot, this first one, of some of my little apps. And I'll show you those when I get the phone back. I don't know whether it's still recording or it's not. But there is actually an app called Essential Emotions. And I've got that on my phone now too, which before I did that screenshot. And so that you can actually look up different emotions and it'll tell you which ones. And the other one will look up any physical stuff as well. So that's really awesome to know that we've got those tools. Nourishment tips. So if you want to be balanced and healthy, it's not just about the oils. You also got to make sure you're drinking plenty of water, moving your body, so increase your exercise and movement, getting enough sleep and rest, and meditation. If you're in the meditation, I meditate every night, probably for about an hour, about 1 a.m. I start. I don't have any other time, probably only 11 or 12, but I often meditate for an hour. I'm sitting up in bed, Kim's there snoring, and I'm sitting up. As soon as I go into it, I drop straight down. And make sure you're eating pretty clean. If you need help with your diet, let me know and I can flex something to you. So, fill a bucket drop by, if you fill a bucket drop by drop, you clear your mind through thought by thought, you heal yourself moment by moment. Founder of Neurosculpting Institute, Lisa Wimberger. And so there are lots of kits. And you guys are probably, I don't know whether you started with a kit or with just one oil at a time. So there's a few of the ones in there. I just shoved some more in there today. Just the enrollment kits. And what we know is if you get an enrollment kit, you then don't have to pay for the $35 join-up. Are you guys on your loyalty rewards program or not? Yep. Do you know about loyalty rewards?
No, my sister-in-law's coming up though, and she's going to show me all about it.
Okay, I'll give you the quick heads up. With loyalty rewards, if you, under the first 3 months, if you spend 50 points, you then get 10% of what you spent back in points. So that's the key. If you don't want to buy anything 1 month, it's still worth being on it and buying one thing that's minimum of 1 point will keep you there. And every time you put 50 points in, or more than 50 points, it'll keep increasing you. So 3 months of 50 PB buys means you get 10% back. Then it goes to 15% for the next 3 months, then 20, then 25, and then 30%. So I've been on the loyalty rewards program for over a year now. I get 30% of the points I spend back to spend on products. Last month I got a free GDR Prime, which is worth $60, and a free frankincense, which was worth $100 or something, on my points. So I saved them up. Now the other beauty about the loyalty rewards program is that you get your freight back. So it costs $7.95 for freight. If you're not on the loyalty rewards program, you get nothing back. If you're on the loyalty rewards program, you get 8 points back, which is equivalent to about $12.50. So you actually, you get your freight back. So you get points back for your freight. So it's actually like they're paying you to get your freight. So the only key is that you have to buy something every month. Okay, so if it's under 50 points, you'll stay on it. You won't increase up till you get another 50 point thing. But you can buy one oil and still stay on it. And then maybe the next month you buy something that's worth 50 points, that month 2 oils, and it keeps marching you along. So you get points back to spend. So that's the best part of the loyalty rewards program. People think, oh, it's just to make you spend every month. It is, but you actually benefit from it. Because if you're trying to build your collection, you're going to buy something every month anyway. So you might as well get the points back. That's what I reckon anyway. And that way you can spend them and get your points back. So if you need any lessons in that, if your uplines don't have time to teach you, and yours will, because she's in she's in Justine's team, and Justine will be big on that, and you're doing the program with Justine too. I'll give you a lesson. I'm happy to do that. I'll give everybody lessons. If I get a cancellation, I've got time, or if I don't have bookings on a day, I'll just, if somebody wants to learn stuff, I'll just let me know, and I'll spend some time with you, go at your back office. All right? Awesome. No, as I say, we're all in it together. Okay, so recommendations for emotional support. In your first month, probably get your, if you were just new, get your emotional aromatherapy kit plus your vitamins. Next month, because they recommend that you have those tablets, there's enough supply for 1 month if you're taking them twice a day. I don't take them twice a day, I take them once a day. So that means I wouldn't have to order those vitamins till the following month. I'd only get them every second month. So you might get some of the other, because your other oils, they last a fair while. So you might get your probiotics, that sort of stuff. And then, what have they got in their third one? I don't know what that is. Lifelong Vitality Pack, Zendocrine, and balance and serenity. So they're kind of suggesting you kind of pace yourself with it. There's also some things that you can use for kids, the lavender and the balance, omega-3 fatty acids and chewable vitamins and probiotics. And 3 ways to get your oils. You can pay retail, not most expensive, which nobody does. Actually, some people do. Some people buy them downstairs at Scoop. They sell them. They sell them for retail. They sell a lot of stuff. They sell coconut, fractionated coconut oil for about half the price. Okay. And you can take your bottle and they'll just fill it and weigh it.
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah, well, I do too, because you use a fair bit. You can get your wholesale account, and that means you get a kit, or you can just order whatever you want. That means you pay the $35 if you order as you go, or if you get a kit at training, or wholesale plus more rewards and discounts. That's just your loyalty rewards program. So something to think about if you're not on it. I'd suggest you do get on it. These are the Natural Solutions Kit. doTERRA are sort of rolling out that as their big seller now. They were promoting the Home Essentials Kit. You guys, if you've been to any workshops, they really push that. They have in the last year. Now they're moving over to the Nature's Solutions Kit because it's also got ice blue, and it's got hand wash, and it's got a little box. It's got a few of the emotional ones in it as well, but it is $635. Some people buy it. I didn't. We just bought the Home Essentials Kit when we started looking. Essential Emotions, thank you for coming. Any questions?
I'm just really pumped. I'm still refreshed from the peppermint.
Excellent. Excellent.
I mean, I was like,
That's good.
Oh, that's excellent. So, so that's only the first emotional one I did was this morning, and the second one was tonight. And so, as I was just saying, when I decide I want to learn stuff, I decide I'm going to throw a workshop on it so I can have to study it.
yeah.
And that's how I do it. I'm one of those, like from days of running fitness centres, burst by fire it's called. You don't know how to do something, make yourself, put a pressure point on, and then you'll force yourself through, and that way you'll be doing classes. And you'll also be sharing the knowledge and helping other people and learning.
Yeah.
So, the chakra stuff, I know all the chakra stuff, and I did the chakra oils training thing too. We can balance our chakras through meditation as well. And when we did Adisha and Santoshi, have you guys heard of them? They're the founders of Australia. They've come into our team. They've come down and done a lot of training with us. It's been awesome. And it's because they're trying to build this leg up, you see. So they'll put their time and their energy to wherever it's going to benefit them. And luckily, it's benefited us. And so they did the chakra balancing one. And there were only 2 people in the whole group, including out of them, that were balanced. I was one of them, and the other one was another one of my Reiki students.
Yes. Living up life.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. It made me pretty pumped about it. I felt pretty happy about that. But I'm going to do a chakra workshop that's going to incorporate a lot of stuff, and I have to just make sure I can get the room. I've got a workshop coming up pretty soon called Spirit Walk. And the Spirit Walk workshop, we're talking quantum physics, we're talking about mind, body, power stuff. And I've got another one in December, so we've got a few different things we're going to be working on both of those. But that's only in the afternoon, so I'm thinking I might do the chakra balance in the morning. So that'll be good. We'll do some with oils and some with just energy stuff that you probably do if you end up coming. And I've got Reiki workshops coming up as well. I've got level 1, level 2 on October 27th and 28th. I'm doing those one-day workshops. So there's some more stuff that if you want to keep learning and growing, more things to think about. So how did you go, guys, tonight? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that peppermint bead, the big burst.
It is. It's like a burst in your mouth, isn't it?
That's great.
Excellent.
Thanks.
So have you guys got time for our meditation now?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. So I don't think we need to record that. So I might just turn this off because all my music's on this now because my cassette player blew out.
Oh.
Bye. Say goodbye, ladies.